Oh, you're like a scuba diver. Wait, let me touch you. You in the suit. You know, you came from my left, and it's like underwater cave, and you came through it in this black rubberized suit, and it has Chrystal Gate. You are in the Chrystal Gate program in SSP because you also have this label on the right, it looks like your right shoulder, and it has like a it looks like a half moon, like a crescent, with the dolphin with his little nose at that crescent, and it's a round label, and it's dark blue. Interesting. And it's like the waves or the arrow coming from that crescent like this, like a letter K, the opposite. And you say, you ask me, do you remember me? Oh, you know what? Because I'm a dolphin in this program myself, and you are actually the one who's training the dolphins and the kids, who is like telling the kids, basically showing by you doing the communication telepathically with dolphins and other sea creatures. And then by your example, then you encourage them to do the same. Like the more you stare in the eyes, the more thoughts of a dolphin come to you. You can start to ask questions and you can receive answers. That's what you say to them. And I see that facility. I actually have a picture of it. I'll show it to you. I drew it before. If you remember. The same exact sign is on the door, the one that on your right side has a label on the suit. And you like dive in and you almost like play around with them, and they make this noise, almost like bird noise when the bird is laughing. I just want to say that. I don't know. Um, yeah, you know me as you know, a lot of children. They call you Rosie. Rosie. Yeah. Let me go disconnect from this facility and go all the way back. How you came here. You came here on a mission to help the sea creatures. It's so connected to the sea. You're like in our terms, like a marine biologist. And you've been to a lot of water planets in this universe. And you came here because you knew that a lot of them came to Earth to help it out, grow mature, fast to develop its immunity towards the parasitic invasion that happened. And those whales and the whales and the other sea creatures like dolphins and others, they came here to raise vibration. A lot of them are stuck in here soul-wise. They're very much connected to the fifth dimension, where there is a lot of timelines are, including Lemurian and other. They used to be like Atlanteans on the fifth right now. That's when Atlantis was never destroyed. So you have that connection there. Actually, when I said Atlantis, I see you. You're there. You're like tall, and you walk. There's like stage coming out of the water. Um, and it's like underneath the water, but there's like globe, like a bubble. The nature is almost like natural, like the membranes of some corals or some other sea seaweed, or maybe I don't know, the fish eggs is close to that. There's like a huge dome like this, and if you walk underneath, there's air there, so you're like an amphibian. And then there's stairs, and there's a round stage, and you walk on the stage. How you look like? Oh, you say you're Bobby. You're Bobby, like Bavi. You came from Bobby people? Or the Bobby people? Tall, white humanoids from Lyra constellation, the original ones. Came from there to Atlantis to experience life there and to empower the sentient beings in the sea as a one big sentient being itself. And you were healing. You were healing like everything, even parts of water, restructuring it so we would bring health, freedom and health to the body. That's what you say. You have some chanting you do or something, like you repeat some things. It's like a combination of powerful words when and you got this eyes. You got this like gray bluish eyes that it's like your essence shines through them. They almost look like crystals, but then somebody's lighting them up with light from behind. And that's when you can, what you do, like when you heal, because I see in front of you, like a warrior person. I think you have different groups of people who do different things, and it's like classification, I guess. And he's from warriors, and he came because he came from different galaxy. He was it didn't work out to do negotiations, so he had to fight. And he has some energetically, it's like he has some cuts in his energy sphere, and they ripped open like this, especially around his head. What you do with your eyes, you draw like a line of your healing energy all around his body, and then you activate it. And by activating that, you stimulate his own self-healing process like that. And as I understand, there are quite a few of you like healers like that, and you kind of do different things differently. But that life is really influencing you, and that's why they took you to SSP. Let me go further in that life. So you came by ship through the atmosphere to the Atlantis when it was just forming. The idea was formed, the idea was developed. Then I see it's like falling apart like columns, and there are reptilians and um what's the lizard type being standing behind it. Like those dragons. They're called dragons, but they big kind of uh yeah, big lizards. They're standing behind it. There was either a plan to destroy it. It was first their plan to create it and then their plan to destroy it. Um, Something didn't go their way. The, the souls did not want to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to fight, and they wanted them to fight. So they just destroyed it. That's what they always do. If humans rebellion or any humanoid race rebellions doesn't do some things according their plan, they would just send a flood or some disaster to erase that race. And that's like as you call them falling on your back and just literally hitting like your back of your head and back. Probably affected your back also with the back of the hand in this life. Uh, and so that's how like your soul comes out but gets trapped. It's almost like it gets trapped in one of the layers above, which looks like the bees, like a net with a little cells. And the cells are like filled with some energy substance like wax, almost like you get stuck in each cell at a soul level. And then they roll it up like a carpet almost, and they bring it to their spacecraft. And that's when they do manipulations, testing the souls, how strong the soul is, characteristics, classification by characteristics, how they can use that soul, how energy productive it is, how much energy it produces. Your soul was split into four pieces, four fragments. So one is sent on Earth back. So it was a little boy in Germany, because I hear German. Like Harold, the name of the boy. And at the same time, I see you there on the moon base, some sort of training at this little boy. Okay, let's see the other three fragments. One stays on the spaceship always, and two other more, one Saturn, one Mars clones. Saturn is a clone there, some scientific computer room. It's not like a scientific lab, it's more like a room with computers. But I see there are obviously scientists in there. They're putting research together. Like they get the information, they put it together. They know how to form formulas, they know how to form ideas to proceed to the next level of the research. Then they kind of form the idea how to do it and send it back to the Mars underground bases and also Earth, from there to Earth underground bases. And Moon, what comes to me is a dark fate. There's something, the processing of the data and of scientific data, the same pretty much thing on the moon. It doesn't. It does have to do with personnel also. So it's like you have all the information about all the programs, but then you know whom to instruct how in terms of new recruiters or somebody new who's coming or who took a break from SSP and coming back. you would instruct them, give them information, and that would be your job. You have a little office right there. It's like a big room on the moon, but then it goes up above with metallic kind of like stairs sticking out with little porches. I don't know how to call it. And there's like offices all around, like all around. And one of them is yours on the second floor. Uh, and I keep hearing like a, um I'm trying to understand like what is it's like a second name or something on the tag. It's Dunbar, like Dunbar more. And that's the one. So the Earth one is so basically you did the Atlantis one first by yourself, and then like 325 lives. This is 326. Oh my, it's like rounds and rounds. I see it like a spiral, and each round on a spiral, it's like 50 lives or something like this. They all blend together. I think it's like that's a split I always see. So basically they send you in one life, but then it kind of creates five, let's say, at the same time, or eight, or whatever number, because every time you make a decision, part of you splits off of you, of your subconscious, and exists on a different timeline type thing. But the feeling that you get of being disconnected because you are actually split up so many times, you can't really feel much of your subconscious anymore because the percentage of it mostly on Saturn, Moon, and lunar basis. And also here, but here is a smaller percent. And that's why, and that's like internal conflict going on. Why did they take me? What are they doing with me? Because there's also you have these abilities when you talk to people, they will just listen to you. It's almost like subconsciously you draw them towards you. And you're like a good instructor that way with the others. That's what they basically know and about you. But there's in terms of healing energy, it's like the healing energy turns into that, that you deal so well in that Crystal Gate, another Manta program.
Oh.
It's like Monterey, because I see like that fish, kind of it's black on it's like a sign with a black fish, Monterey, but they call it Manta, and then there are numbers. This one is, I see 13 and I see 17. It's probably that you've been in both, and then you're related to, yeah, you're mostly in like dark fleet, but more like personnel, not the active type person who does missions and all this. It's mostly the database and things like that, and scientific research involvement and that, processing it, because you know everything, formulas, you know, science and all this. So let's just go. Oh, basically when we go and you go back into energy sphere, half of the time you would have your floor, like energy sphere, imagine, and there's this floor where you at, and it would just collapse under your feet, and you would just be pulled towards one of the programs where they would need your human component. That's what they say, and involvement of it in there. Let me see how they've been training you. Going back to, I mean, they would take you even when you were 4. At 3, they would take your DNA samples. So you have 8 hybrids. There were more than 13, and they would, you know, you've been through hybridization program. The dark crystal hybrids, something it's called. It's kind of like from dark fleet, dark crystal hybrids, something related to that. They would use you as an incubator for growing them, because you know what they did? They actually, by using you in this 3D, they went to one of the planets. You were as a well, like a male figure, and they took your DNA energy pattern sample, combined everything. It's like it's technology does everything. They just put it in little containers, put it in big machine, and here's a DNA sample from there. And they took your DNA sample from here as a woman on Earth. Basically, they had clippers on the tubes to get eggs from you, and that's why, you know, monthly um, days would be very painful because of that, because they would take a lot of them. They would take up to 10 to 15 eggs each month to experiment, and the best ones they would pick, and that they would implant into you, and they would stay there for 3 to 4 months, and your body would think you're pregnant, and you would experience some even symptoms sometimes. But then they would come at night, take you on the ship, put you on this reclining chair, take those hybrids out. There would be 2 or 3 at a time, sometimes 1, and your body would think that it's lost a baby. So it would be very painful, like every month to go through it. It's like a miscarriage all the time. And so I just see 8 of them right now. Clearly see them in some lab. And it's on what comes to me is it used to be on Mars, but now it's on Saturn. Like they transported it. And now they're transporting everything from Saturn to Orion Belt Labs. Um, so yeah, basically you have this 2 clones and there's 8 hybrids. And so you got this floor thing. It's almost like your own energy sphere is a jump room. That's what I mean. It's kind of like they activated underneath, because from underneath, from under your feet might feel the electric resonance or something. That electromagnetic field is disrupted. That's probably also why you feel disconnected from your energy bodies, because that when they need it, they would remote control and literally catapult your energy body out of your energy sphere to, to whatever program mission they need, whatever cloned body they want to use. Because aside from these other 2, they have 7 more for you that sometimes they use. They look different. Here's, I'm looking at one. Oh, it has a very interesting label. So it's like a black one-piece suit with the belt. The belt has like rhombical bright blue crystal in it. There's a round label on the left shoulder, black with kind of golden, and inside it has like 2 hammers down with the heads, and at behind the hammers as a background is a symbol. The best way to describe it, it looks like somebody. This kind of reminds me like something like a Roblox computer game. If people know how they draw everything, kind of like robotic, like square type. It's almost like somebody drew a spider, but it's kind of squared and not, kind of computerized version of it. I mean, I can try to. It also looks like some sign of some famous brand name. It's just the weirdest sign. I mean, I'll try to like draw it after. Um, just trying to remember here. And so that's one of the cloned bodies. It's enhanced with some spider technology, but also mantis programming. Yeah, interesting. But anyway, so basically there are 9 clones, but there are 2 active, and the other 7 are in those tubes at the lab. They all are different. They all like mixture of mostly insectoid forms DNAs and your DNA. So, and one has like a tail of a seal behind, which is to self-propel in the water, but the body looks human in the mask, some sort of mask. With a transparent light gray glass shield on the back. It's almost like protecting the back of your head, of a clone's head. So they would just like catapult your consciousness, throw it into one of those cloned bodies and send it on a mission. You would usually put it on a spaceship, send it on some, and dump you on some planet, and the program would be activated, what you're supposed to do, and you would do it. Or they would instruct you. It's usually a reptilian would come and instruct you. Once again, reptilians are looking kind of, some of them are crocodile-like snout. Other ones are more like lizard. The way they sway their heads, like kind of like crocodile and then the lizard, dragon lizard kind. So you have basically when it comes to your energy sphere, I'm telling you to call on everybody who's attached to you, and clearly all those hybrids, clones, are attached to you, have connected to you. They are through solar plexus and lower. And there it's like plug, 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 like that. There are 5 of them, all the way down. And so those are the implants, and they're fixated on the kind of chakra system that is like an exoskeleton in your case. It's almost like it's enhanced and made more metal and pronounced to hold the body and control the energy body. But then there's this thing. It comes from the back, start of the back, looks up, 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 up. It's like somebody took a metallic rod, made a loop on the head like this inside, and it goes back in, and it's like stands. And that is in the hand. Is in the hand, and it's connected to the spinal cord, but it also can influence impulses. Impulses go into organs. They can be blocked, so organs can be depleted like with energy if they need to. And it's hard to actually. Nothing is unbalanced. Everything is cut off of the vital energy be, because of those. So the heart has some. It's like round metallic ball with spikes all over, but it more looks like a snowflake because it has little spikes from the big spikes on the sides. Like a snowflake thing. So whenever they want your programs to overpower your mind, your own thinking that comes from the heart or from that gut feeling that you get, they can easily dominate you by that implant in the heart. So I told you that you can ask them to take it off, all those implants, or you do it yourself. He said, no, I'm going to do it myself. And you took that rod from the head, put it on you created like a round table in front of you. You understand now, you create just by thought along. And that ball, metallic ball with spikes from the heart on the table. And those 5 things, it's like cords. It's like cords or wires with metallic attachments to them, starting from solar plexus and down, 5 of them, all the way to the legs, the beginning of legs. So you unplug them all, and you just push them out and burn them as they were coming out of your energy sphere, disappearing in space, burned up. And it's like you touch the bottoms of your feet with your palms of your hands to cleanse them energetically, because there was electromagnetic static, that's what you said, on your feet from that system implemented and attached to the bottom of your energy sphere from outside. You did that. You threw out those implants together with. So chakras, they really are attached to it because they did the chakra overlays also. And this all together almost looks like Olympic Games sign of those rings, but stretched out. That's how I saw it in your body. Took them all out, threw them out. And now you're going to the moon base. to that timeline where it's still going on, everything is there, and you go to this one guy. You call him Paul. Paul. And you say, so there's Paul 1 and Paul 2. I can he's a Paul 2. Is it two clones or something? And you ask him to delete all your files because you're leaving, you're retiring, you said. And he pulls up bright yellow folder. You hold it, you look through it, 80 pages of it. So you say, okay, this is a paper copy. Do you have any other paper copies? And he said, yes, at the basis, Earth basis, terrestrial basis. Underground facilities there, including Area 51, some of them European, Belgium, France, Germany, Frankfurt base. So you say, I want them all now in my hands. Purple folder comes in your hands on top of yellow, and the big white kind of folder comes in with that clip inside that holds the 15 sheets of paper with different descriptions, what you've done, your characteristics, your DNA samples, the 118 strands of DNA, everything. So you just take them all, put them in a big metallic ball, and set it on fire. You say it's divine fire from my soul because with my soul and mind right now, I'm as connected as one. I want this all gone from my life. And all those lives that I spent as a widow, said widow, I want them to be gone. I want this out of my mental, emotional bodies also because it impacted me in this life. I was afraid of marrying somebody or getting to meet the right person. It was very subconscious, like fear of mine, because I was afraid to lose that person after. Like it happened in a lot of my lives, 32 lives that you lost, your spouse in particular. So when that fear you are cleansing from your mental, emotional bodies, there is square boxes and boxes and boxes of different kinds of fears, of deception, betrayal, not being understood. They didn't even have to create a program for you to be single. It's like they just basically what they did, they amplified the fear that you already had. And since they created the lives anyways, that they created them the way that you've been going through torment all the time, mostly by yourself. And that's why you turn to nature and animals most of the times. And the children in that program, you're very much connected to the Chrystal Gate, the blue ray, the manta or manta. Huh. They're different. There's a lot of them you've been in. So, Moonrock, Moonrock 22. I have no idea what it is. That's what you said. connecting a human soul using a human body, using human soul in a body of an hybrid animal. Looks like that's the moon rock 22. And so you cleansed all those bodies, fill up, and regenerated, start the regeneration process by shooting your energy upwards from toes up to your head of your own essence. Um, you change your DNA back to original. You said I want it back to original. 118 strands are cleansed. And then now they're like transparent, sparkling. White with a little bit of yellowish golden, something like this. And you disconnect from those clones and all 9 of them. But then the hybrids, it's a big question. You want to go back and you want to cancel all the times when they would come, do experiments on you, insert those hybrids in you, take your eggs each month, starting from age 17, and you want it to be stopped, deleted from your timeline. That's what they do. And you also shot a very powerful wave to other timelines to change all the events there that you didn't like or influence you too much and cause you to have it's almost like you call it depressive anxiety or something, like you don't know what to do or how to do it, and get frustrated, something like this. And then you develop this nostalgia feeling, kind of like being nostalgic towards you don't know what really, but it comes from space, it comes from there, from those previous experiences, which actually not really previous, but all run in parallel, and you really miss that life in Atlantis as a healer, really do. So you disconnected from all of this, and then you just changed the timeline because you escape, and that the way you changed it, you create a portal in Atlantis, walk out of Atlantis right before it starts, like the columns start getting falling down, and it starts like fragmenting and splitting and breaking down and falling apart. That's what, like, you laughed and you told your people to do the same, because right now is the right time to change timeline. Right now we're all changing negative timelines, and that's what the hurry is all about. Time is speeding up on one hand and time is being stretched on the other. All the duality games came together in one point right now. That's why everything unfolding before our eyes, and we can see every reality, and we can find every information we can possibly want to find. And sometimes it's confusing, but that's the way it's playing out right now. You have access through your mind and soul to all the realities right now, and you can change all your timelines for yourself to undo all the damage and all these emotional mental traumas that have been done to you. So, speaking of the moon, so all files are gone, papers are gone, connections are gone, and your subconscious, I did retire. Um, So yeah, that's all done right now. Hmm. Yeah, I see a life on that Lyra. Mm. And then in one of the timelines, a Phelinoid race came and conquered it. But on the other timeline, it's all absolutely like free and beautiful, and there are people. I mean, I want to call them people. They're obviously not people, but they look so much like just like very white-skinned people with mm, like red hair, and a lot of it's like fluffy curly hair with either green or blue eyes. Beautiful features. Yeah, kind of like long faces. Looks like illustrations in some fairy tale books or something. That's the original Lyrans that you call yourself Bobby people. Um, yeah, you can ask questions. You're done with.
Wow, fascinating. So, everything is cleared now, is it, Oksana? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
everything's clean. Yeah, you're just standing. I've actually seen you. You're not even in your energy sphere. It's totally clean. I see a physical body sitting and talking to me, and then I see it's like a pathway throughout space that is lit in beautiful golden light, and it goes through the sun portal, goes straight into the Lyra constellation, and I see you on some alpha, you call it planet for convenience, you said, let's call it that way, and that's where your family is. You have two daughters, and you have like a partner, you know, and you live in this interesting round buildings with the it goes like round circle on top and then goes down like this, and it's like crystalline with the golden stripes on the sides. The energy of the sun, you say,
Mm.
to.
Is that where I originated from, Lyra?
Yeah, yeah, from those original Lyrans, you say.
Okay. I remember years ago getting an Akashic reading done, and the lady said to me, it came from a planet through a Nihil, Nihal, and I'd never heard of it. Does it make any sense to you?
Oh, to me, it's not in this universe. It's a connective universe. That's what you said.
Right.
Yeah. So it's before you came here,
Okay.
basically. Yeah, you can build the connections throughout universes you've been to.
Okay.
So
And the family on Lyra, can I connect with them?
you always connected. And
Okay.
right now, before you just couldn't, you had all this implants and all these attachments, you couldn't really go there, but now you're gonna go there a lot. And by
Okay.
going there, it's like part of you is gonna be there. That's what I mean. And because also you went to the spaceship where they fragmented your soul and you set all the parts free. First of all,
Right.
by um, um, disconnecting from your clones. Here you go, you got those fragments back, and plus that part that they kept on the spaceship. So, because that's how they get hold of a soul. We also
Mm.
have to make sure that the part that they got hold on is also disconnected and free, and that part actually went back to Lyra. And so you're going to be part of you is going to be there with your family. So you probably get like more insights and visions and things like that. You can just get clear knowledge.
Wow, great. Wow. And they say the people or the how do you like is it Anunnaki or is are they the were they the ones that did all this stuff or who who
Genetic manipulation.
yeah
They are the Genesis. They are the ones who created the game in between,
yeah,
like the game of gods and demons.
right
And they are the gods supposed to be.
yeah
And, they wanted us to believe in them as gods to give them more energy. But they also hired mantis beings. They hired Genesis from Sirius A and from other planets
right
to manipulate the human DNA. They
okay
they forced. So people think that that's what your soul telling me, that don't think that this group or that group is bad because they manipulated or something. No, they were forced still. They were used as slaves because that's what they do. They basically walk around the universe from galaxy to galaxy, planet to planet, star to star, pick the souls who can do things for them and enslave them.
right and who instructs them
Who what? Sorry, I didn't hear. Who instructs them?
yeah
They instruct themselves. They also kind of against up against the Draco Reptilian Alliance. And Draco Reptilians think that they are in charge of this universe, when in fact the tall whites was the Nazis thinking that they are the ones in charge.
right
So it's
wow
like basically fighting for who's gonna be the one in charge, who's gonna be higher on the pyramid of hierarchy here. Everybody deceives each other and lies to each other. That's kind of almost laughable, but it reflects onto the Earth system. It's pretty much the same going here, except right now that fake pyramid is gonna be dismantled and it's gonna become transparent in between, in like before people's eyes. Pretty soon it's getting dismantled first
right
to make sure that it's not gonna be get reconnected again. mm, so yeah.
okay wow and is most of humanity are they do they have implants
Most, yeah,
oh
99.9%.
right
But they well, right now, that's why right now a lot of people are working on helping with information, so the souls can receive the information and free themselves and take the implants out
right
and disconnect from everything, because the moment is arriving. It's on the horizon.
okay
So
and is that why this COVID thing arrived to help us all
yeah, on one hand, it's like it's hard to understand. There's multiple layers
yeah
how it's going. On the highest level, it's very much us as creator beings who arrange this all, because the dark side wanted something like this to influence us in a negative way and take control of all of us. But we always predict their plans. It's like a chess game, Okay, I'll predict he'll go this way. Okay, if he goes that way, let me counteract. So what I do is I use his move in my favor. That's kind of like we use their move. We knew that there were going to be some souls, let's say, transformed in a way, or genetically manipulated in the process and moved to a different reality because they're not ready yet to exit. By others who are ready to exit, we created an exit. Within this window of darkness, you can always create a door of light, which we created.
Okay.
And yeah, that,
Okay.
so that the whole thing is just, you can't view everything as just dark or just positive or
Yeah.
negative. There's always some positive in every negative. There's always some negative in every very positive.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but what we're doing, it's like we're fishing our own fragments out
Okay.
because because we want to redo the game. It's like a computer game when
Mm.
you're just tired of the setting. The setting is corrupted, and viruses are going wild, electronic ones and others, and you just have to break it all down into molecules and energy molecules to rebuild it up again into a brand new something good that would have a viral protection, much like a computer system, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And see, a few years ago, my left hip, uh, actually, it was more the back, the sacroiliac joint, and no amount of chiropractic work or osteopathy work heals it. Will that heal now, do you think, once these implants are?
Yeah, it's because it's like in one of the programs there was a bomb going on under it. It looks yellow with like oil coming. It's like plasma, I think. Under you were in some submarine doing something observation, scientific mission.
Mm.
And when you came out, I see the bomb. It's almost like it blows up. When it blows up, first it goes into like oil dropped in water like this, and
Mm.
then it goes like spreads out in like crystals when they grow. Like, and it actually hit your leg in part of your body, and it got
Mm.
disconnected, like torn apart.
Right.
But then they put you in some tub. It's like a filled up with some gel, and on the actually on submarine. But I see it from above. The way I see it, it's like a capsule, and it's filled like with some light yellow gel, and then the blue light shines over it and becomes green, and they put you in it to make your leg connected again. They reconnected. They didn't grow a new one. They reconnected.
Wow. Wow.
And that's why it took a long time. So all the nerves, everything, imagine, right? At the physical level, that's what you felt. Like it was growing back and hurting at the physical. And there you couldn't move. Couldn't
Oh,
move
oh,
for comes to me like in like our time, like 2 weeks that you were in it. I don't know how long it took here, but it feels like neurologically it went for a long time because when nerves are involved, it just takes a long time, and also ligaments and all this, you know, muscle.
gosh, they had amazing abilities. How far back was that they were able to um, put it back together?
Yeah, well, that's the technology right now. They use the different technologies. I understand.
Okay.
I feel like they have those med beds, and everybody's expecting
Mm.
it can just basically your leg can grow back out. Cells can self-replicate.
Right.
Self-replicating technology, something. So according just takes your DNA sample or whatever it gets connected to the machine.
Okay. Wow, that is fascinating. You know, it would have no idea this was all going on, and yet, you know, I just knew there was something not right with the way I was feeling.
Right, the block, the energies also. Have you gotten any like strange bruises or marks on your body or anything like this in your life that you remember of?
No, I know. The only thing I get is like bumps on my finger, not bumps, but they're like skin problems on my hands, and I don't know what, they're like bumps or lumps, and they come and go. And I went to a dermatologist, and she said it's called granuloma annular, I think she called it. And she said there's no known cure for it.
Yeah, it's from exposure through the so clones would get exposed to a lot of things like chemical solutions, radiation, things like that. It would
Right.
just affect your hands because your hands are mostly involved when you're a scientist. So,
Right.
like those incubators that you put hands through,
Yes.
things like that. Yeah, just sensitive.
Yeah. And say with clones, so is your soul split off into parts of into different parts of the clones? Is that how it works? Or
They use some laser beam to split you up. Yeah, they split you up in four fragments
right?
and then they just kept one in some cube-like glass container. Um, the other two, that they went on the moon and Mars, right?
Yeah.
And then there is the other seven. I mean, the moon and Mars and the Saturn and the moon and then the Mars. They had this facility was the seven clones still in the lab that they would use them. They would pull each of them out,
Okay.
but they were all kind of like hybridized. So yeah,
Yeah. That's, gosh, I'm looking forward to feeling freer and easier, and have all that stuff, implants removed is fantastic.
yeah, I'll send you some videos of those particular programs
Yeah.
and send you my drawing.
Yes.
Actually, if you let me publish the video, I would also put my drawing as a thumbnail from that
Okay.
program, how I saw it, I drew it, because it might stimulate or, it's like a lot of memories from other people maybe who've been involved in these programs.
Mm.
That's the primary idea why we watch the videos we watch, we think we pick
Yes.
them, but in reality, our essence, our soul picks them and puts
Yeah.
them in our reality right before our eyes. So we watch them like a
Yeah.
hint. You always get hints. You can ignore hints or you can take them and use them and
Yes.
unfold them.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so
Fascinating how, yeah. Um, is there anything else I want to ask? No, I'm just grateful that, you can do this work, and, um, you know, guide me along on this, and, it's just brilliant. Yeah.
Your soul says, if your subconscious, if all of the people involved in SSP disconnected and used their gifts that they've been using in those programs, we would just create a beautiful world
Yeah.
overnight.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Because we should understand that we should take the power back and fully take responsibility
Yeah.
about everything and not give it away.
Hmm.
Don't let anybody make decisions for ourselves. And that's
Yeah.
how it works. That's what we are doing now. And you say, I wish more people would do the same. And
Mm.
there are different people who do similar work. It depends whom you resonate with, but sometimes it takes steps to do
Mhm.
it, to liberate yourself, because there's multiple layers of programming, and
Yeah.
especially in super soldiers like that.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's like, you're not supposed to meet other super soldiers. They would put a block there. Or if you do meet, you will have conflict with that person, and the friendship will be broken. But you have
Yes.
to understand it's their program. That's what they want.
Wow. Yeah. Mm. Gosh, that's yeah. So I have a friend, and I've been friends with her for well 30, 40 years. And in 2017, I, ju- I, ca- and I won't say confronted her, but I brought up different um, issues that I was having in the friendship, and she was very hurt and very. I couldn't talk to her about it, and she couldn't hear me, and maybe I couldn't hear her in this, and it just put a huge strain on the friendship, and we've never really talked about it, but we are still somewhat friends, but I find it a difficult one because say there's no point in bringing up any of the issues because she gets defensive, and yeah, we just can't communicate on it. And I often wonder, what is that about?
It's not her who's talking. At first, I saw a snake when you started talking, the
Right.
snake, and then I see her tied up to some sort of like metallic pole with her legs tied up to it, her hands tied up to it, her body, and he has this energetic, like a plug in her mouth. And when you think that's her who's speaking, that's actually snake speaking through her. She has an implant in the mouth also, so she can use her, vocal
Yeah.
abilities. It's almost like she's channeling a snake all the time, but it's not her.
Wow.
And snake showed up first as a snake made out of light. So I thought, oh, that gotta be religious, like one of those beings of light connected to religious egregore. But it goes deep into. I think it goes even further beyond the Earth's level. It's somewhere from there. Got attached to her and started making her incarnate here to take the energy.
Wow. And is there anything I can do? Is the friendship over? Is it?
You
Um,
you were you created like a rain with water, and water contains information. It's raining on her,
okay.
and you made it so out of your energy so it dissolves the ropes, and so she can like move and take the lead blockage out of her mouth. Looks like an energy block.
Mm.
Um, she's like waking up from a deep sleep from stasis of some sort. Her life is in stasis, also physical life.
It's in
It's
what?
it's
In
like
state.
it's like her life, I feel, it's like she runs on autopilot
Yeah, yeah,
and there's no much emotion or anything involved, but more
yes,
like others do or say type thing person.
yes, yes, yeah.
So it's hard for her. The only thing she was shocked about the snake is she saw it once she disconnected, untied herself from a pole. She has to learn a lot. She doesn't have a base of information that you have. You build it up yourself,
Yeah.
and she didn't do it, obviously, because she was tied up.
Okay. Wow.
So
That's
you give her a book, and she's asking you if it's a Bible, and you say, well, close enough. It's a book that is called Help Yourself book, Help Yourself manual book. Just read it from cover to cover, you understand. Yeah, it's a soul's Bible. You can call it that.
wow.
Funny.
Yeah. Gosh, that's really. And is the friendship like? I don't even know why I keep in it. I don't know what keeps me in it.
Yeah, because you felt you had to help her.
Mm.
You have this from the missions. You mostly help marine animals.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes they are children, and you dealt a lot of human children. So you have this in you to help
Mm.
for the weaker ones who is weak, and you felt the weakness that she was weak, but you couldn't understand what was going on. You were
Mm.
pulled towards her to heal her
Yeah.
and empower her. But that happens a lot when people walk towards you on the street, and out of hundreds of people on the street, they would come to you and ask you for directions. Why is that? They feel a strong pull because whenever something gets close to you, it's like your own energy rubs off of that person and his or her energy rubs off of you, even though you don't walk into each other's energy sphere, obviously, but they, touch in a way
Mm.
energetically. So exchange of information. Sometimes you don't even, that's why Dolores Cannon used to say, you just have to walk through a mall, and you'll wake up some people just by walking through
Ah,
because you do energy exchange with that common information of you, how you woke up, what you understand, and if person is ready, would absorb the right things they need to further wake themselves up. So that's kind of like you're being pulled towards her and she is pulled towards you, or others people are like that come to
mm,
you. There's subconscious thing that pulls you, like why do you feel, well, this is the right person for me? Well, that's because that person has the right energy pattern that would
mm.
heal you with his or her frequencies just by talking to each other, communicating and doing something together for a short time. So
Gosh, gosh. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So, wow. Are you tired asking after all that?
no, I'm not tired. You can
Are
ask.
you? No, you're still okay. Um, my family of origin, like my mother, we had, I don't know, we had a difficult relationship, but I have a sister now, and I'm trying to, I'm back again helping her with, you know,
Your mother is your handler.
okay,
Your mother is who is connected to SSP also.
connected to it?
Secret space programs.
Okay,
Those,
right.
those,
She's a
all
handler,
this.
is she?
They always put one of the relatives or close relatives into your family to help them out with physical upbringing of a child. Usually very hard to deal with that parent or that
Mm,
relative. And it's usually a very dominative person, control person who likes to control you, dominate you, all this, you
yes.
know.
Wow. And would she have dominated my sister Helen as well? Helen, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like your sister is involved in some of it also,
Right.
but I feel like you've been in some with it just came like 1918 as a year slash 1924. You've been doing some missions together with your sister there.
Oh, yeah.
Some
I think,
more, some off-world missions, some artificially created AI realities.
oh,
Not something like this. It's like training and missions. That's what I got.
yeah.
Yeah, she's got some DNA they're interested in too. Looks like blue cubes. Like when you said your sister, she looks like she's composed of blue cubes that they programmed. Her entire body is blue cubes connected to each other.
Wow.
So giving her the information, and her heart area is like imagine circles, and they're bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all build up on each other. Seems like a block of some sort to disconnect from subconscious.
Yeah.
So you gave her a flower, kind of interesting looking one of Earth's flower to get her interested in it. And when she's looking at it, it kind of the center of the flower is like a mirror. And that mirror turns into a transparent screen and shows her some of her missions and some of the things for her to remember. You say it's going to take up to 6 months for her to process the information that you read off of her. She's at a very like dark place, you said, in terms of her connection to the soul. So she has to undo all the layers of disconnect first.
Mm,
Yeah, but there's hope there.
okay, that's good. Yeah, because she's since my mother passed over, I can see a change in her, because she was dominated by my mother, and um, she came into this world with, she was called handicapped, but her only handicap that I can see is she would have, she'd be special needs, and that she'd probably need a little bit of more time to learn something than maybe another kid would. So she was labeled handicapped, and that was in Ireland back then was, oh my gosh, that was the worst thing you could be, was handicapped. Yeah.
She's lying on some bed, also tied up by her wrists and her ankles, and he's on the blue bubble together with some other 20 energy bodies like this. I was trying to get what planet, and what I got is URSUS, like Ursus.
Okay.
Um, 21. It's like it's not even a planet, it's artificially created something. Like a platform, and they call it that way. They put like a dome over to preserve souls. Like that when they need them, they'll get them. But the platform itself is like a solar battery. They give off the energy to the solar that battery or a platform, and from that platform they have cords connected. I see it a lot, to spaceships and bases and other planets they're at, because they try to drain it. That's how they've been draining energy of the earth all this time also, not only throughout ley lines, pyramids, and all this, but
Right.
also like that through connection to people, through people, like conductors.
Right. Okay.
So you just gave her the information. You use some weapon uh, that shot through a hole through the dome. Gave her, it's like the the folded paper into the circle, tube, and she got it. So yeah, and they got it also. They all got it. I'm sure they're gonna explode this dome just by expanding their energy and erasing their fear and all this. Let me fast forward what they do. Yeah, exactly. Explode it and scatter it throughout the universe. Crystal Flower Planet, that's where she went to. Looks like a big, it's like it has, from far away, the waves energetically, like big sunflower. Like the middle of the sunflower is a planet, and the petals are the rays it emits, like that. That's where she went. Mhm.
Wow.
I saw this is if people who are afraid of grays, if they saw the grays right now, they're like in standby mode. They're like froze because they came to check on the equipment, and the whole equipment is blown up.
Right.
And they just, they're like, I see their faces like frozen, like, because their program doesn't know what to do next.
Okay.
In this case, kind of funny.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's how easy it all is. Once you know your power, I mean, they have no power over you.
Mm.
Once you understand anything that has a little bit of any information that has fear as a base for it, if you analyze it, that's usually misinformation.
Mm.
It's meant to build up fear in you.
Mm.
If you act out of fear, that's just not the right thing to do for sure.
Right. Yeah. And yet it's so pervasive, isn't it? Fear in this world, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what it's all built upon. People should understand, and it's a program. It's very hardcore one built
Mm.
into a physical suit, but you can totally undo it. Just takes your free will and determination, much like, stopping to smoke or something. I mean, it takes free
Yeah.
will, determination, all this plan,
Mm.
Man.
Okay. Yeah. Mm. Okay.
So if you're done with questions, or unless you want to check on somebody else, just think about it for a second.
I think I'm okay. I can't think of anything else. I'm
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
it's just a lot of information to think about.
It
I
is.
sent
Yeah.
you some videos. Yeah, I think you'll remember some things for sure. I was just that huge metallic thing. There's like that loop formed into around your head. It was just totally
Yeah.
blocking your memories. I mean everything. They're very
Yeah.
good at blocking. They use different techniques. Okay, let me turn on the recording.